Today, I have a wonderful guest. Her name is Karyn Laver, and she's going to tell us all about herself. And as you can see, she's into dance. So, Karyn, tell us all about yourself. Thank you so much, honey, for coming. I appreciate you coming.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Now, I want to know all about this dance network. I want to know about you. You know, everything. Are you a local girl?
So I'm actually from San Luis Obispo. That's where I grew up. But I've been in Santa Barbara for about 7 years now because I came for college and decided to never leave because it's so beautiful here. And I started dancing when I was about 10, and we can all thank Gene Kelly and the movie Singing in the Rain for that. That was my inspiration, and I wanted to be able to tap dance like him, and that's why the tap shoes are here, because that's my favorite style of dance. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy the counts and the percussive rhythm of it. And
I remember when I was like 5 years of age, or maybe even younger, in England, Janet, of course, that's Janet, not Lucy Looker, but Janet. And I used to go to dance, ballet dance there. And I remember, you know, when doing the tap dancing, and we did this soldiers dance. And my mum said, "Oh my God, we're watching you on stage." And of course, all the little soldiers were all doing their tap dance. And I was the tiny one at the end. I'm a performer, you see, and it was obvious when I was that little. I went the other direction. The whole troop went this way and doing the tap, and I'd been taught and taught and taught at all the rehearsals, and they kept telling me, follow them, and I never did. Off I went on my own and did my own little tap dance routine. I guess that was when they knew I was a performer rather than just a dancer. My sister was a ballet dancer. She was sculpted and everything, you know, Josie in Australia now. So I know the love that you have. The tap dancing is such a love, isn't it? I mean, and were you in a lot of different shows in San Luis Obispo or here?
well, when I started, I was about 10. So I actually started late because, as you were saying, you started when you were 5. And that's usually 3 to 5 is when most professionals start. But within a year, I was actually competing at competitions all throughout California. So I was going up to San Francisco to compete and down to Los Angeles and competing at home in San Luis, but it's just performing everywhere because that's what it's about. It's really just the love of performing is what has driven me to be where I am today. And I actually have performed internationally on cruise ships, and it's
Oh,
amazing.
tell us about that, because I also, when I was traveling back years ago, I actually performed on cruise ship, but I'm sure mine was when I was young. I was like about, oh, I don't know, in my 20s. And back then, they actually got the crew, you know, the people on the cruise, the passengers involved. Were you actually a part of the actual cruise dancers? Or were you like one of the passengers that got involved? How were you?
No, I actually we came on to be performers on
Oh,
the cruise
fantastic!
ship.
That's fun because
It was
usually
a
they
lot
get
of
the
fun.
passengers involved, like the dancers get the passengers
Yeah,
involved.
and we
yeah.
did a little bit of that too, and that was a lot of fun. I think that's part of what's molded my idea of dance now. Is I really, when I have events, I really like to encourage audience members and people who are not dancers to come up and learn dance and really extend it to the community. But it's really weird dancing on a cruise ship because even though you don't think, because it's such a big ship that you can feel the ocean, you can, even especially when you're moving around and you're doing all sorts of crazy stuff. And we were doing lifts and things like that.
Oh my goodness!
Fortunately, nobody got dropped, but I've heard horror stories about people who aren't used to dancing on cruise ships dropping their partners in lifts and things like that. So thankfully, nobody got dropped when we were on the cruise ship. But
That must have been a lot of fun. What ports did you go to?
we went to, oh goodness, it was
Bahamas,
so
was
long
it out
ago.
that way?
No, we did Mexican cruises. So we went to
The Riviera, Cabo San Lucas,
and
Puerto
Ensenada was
Vallarta.
one of the
Oh,
places
yeah.
we went, and
Lot of
we
fun.
passed through. We would all get in a huge caravan, all of the students, and drive down to San Diego, and that's where we would take off from. We would take off from San Diego.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun, and especially, you know, being young and being able to explore that, and then also seeing the other groups that were on the cruise ship also dancing. It was incredibly inspirational.
Wow.
And just so exciting. I loved it. And I'm really hoping now that I've got my own studio that I'm going to be able to give that opportunity to some of my students, because it was invaluable to me. It really showed me a different kind of performing and entertaining that you as a dancer on land don't really get to experience. Being able to do that on the ocean and just knowing what it's like to dance in different environments is so important. And it was just amazing.
I remember when I was on the cruise ship, we did South Pacific. That was a musical.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, that was so much fun. That was so much fun. The dancing that we did for that, you know, and because they did Bora Bora type dancing or whatever they called that now. But it was so much. I used to think when I was young, I was like, maybe that would be really fun to go on a cruise ship and get paid to do something you really love to do, you know.
Yeah.
So that must have been very exciting.
It was.
So what other things, and you said you went all the way up to San Francisco performing?
There's every year there's a national convention called Dupre's. It's a convention competition, and I've been to competitions, I've been to conventions, I've done things all throughout the United States, and I would have to say conventions, especially this one, are my favorite, because competitions, you go and you compete and you see all these other dancers competing and you get really inspired, but you don't necessarily do anything except for do your own dancing. Whereas with conventions, we would go and we would spend the whole week in there as a company, and it was a really great bonding experience for all of us, because we would be taking classes all day long, and then we would compete and see all the different dances, and then the next day we would take classes all day long again. And it's from professionals from all over the world.
Wow.
Some of the best dancers that you get to take and learn from. And one of the years, a couple of the years, but I remember the first year I won scholarship, I was so excited. It meant that I got to go the next year for free, because I had auditioned to get a scholarship, and it was really nerve-wracking, but it was very exciting. And the man who awarded the scholarship to me was one of my biggest inspirations growing up. His name's Tommy Redder, and he's actually tapping on Broadway right now in Billy Elliot, which is amazing that I know that man and was able to train with him. And I literally ran up on stage, jumped up on stage, and jumped on top of him. And just because I was so excited. I think I was about 14 or 15 at the time, and I was just so excited to be able to not only earn that scholarship, but also be able to receive it from him, because he was such an inspiration.
Wow. And what is it he does? He's from another country?
No, he's from the United States,
yeah?
but he is a tap dancer, and so he's been training in tap his whole life.
Wow.
And is one of the most amazing, in my personal opinion, one of the most amazing tap dancers in the United States. He's fantastic, and I think I can definitely say he and Gene Kelly are two of my biggest inspirations as a dancer. And
not Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers?
You know,
it's too much like ballroom. I guess it's different.
Well,
he was good though on tap dancing, Freddie,
great,
wasn't he?
But he did more soft shoe.
That's what he was doing.
Which is a little different. I would say I'm more of a hoofer.
Gene Kelly was amazing. I mean.
Yeah, but Fred Astaire is fantastic. I just would say like his style is more, I think, influenced by ballet and ballroom, whereas I feel like Gene Kelly is a little bit more hard-hitting and more energetic in his style, as opposed to elegant, which is not to say that he isn't a beautiful, amazing dancer, but Fred Astaire definitely had that softer, sort of more elegant way that he danced. And I am inspired by, Ginger Rogers, and by Fred Astaire, and by, Sauvignon Glover. And there's all these amazing ones. But
Russia.
I would say,
Russia has some great dancers.
But I would say
mostly ballet there, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you ever have any tap dancers out of Russia? I don't know any tap dancers out of Russia.
Not offhand, but that might be something I should look into, because that would be interesting to see how the cultural influence changes the style, because it's really prevalent, actually. Tappers from different places in America tap very differently, and I've had people come and take class from me, or I've taken class from other people, and the terminology is different, and the preferences for technique is different. So it'd be really interesting to see. For me, that would be really interesting to see how somebody from a completely different part of the world is influenced and takes what I do, and what all the other tappers do, and makes it their own.
And because I saw something recently on TV. It was a film from New Zealand. I think it was from New Zealand. And they were like all young men.
Yeah.
And they were, what was the name of that movie? I wish I could remember the name of it now. But anyway, they ended up doing to raise money because everybody had no money. Like something happened, the mine closed and everything. But but they did have a tap dancing school. And this young fellow ended up doing this whole routine out of a big industrial factory of metal. I mean, they were like dancing on metal. Oh God, what was the name of that movie? I wish I knew what the name of it was. We both saw it. Dan and I saw it. And it was really, it's amazing. I'll find out what it is, and I'll let you know, because it was such a good movie, wasn't it? Do you remember? And that was from New Zealand. And they were like doing tap dance like I'd never seen it before. He had them in big hobnail boots, and he put these huge, unbelievable metal things on the bottom, wasn't it? It was incredible. And it was almost like Iron Man or something. It was amazing. And they would spin and they did somersaults, and they were like, it was almost like fire was coming off the bottom of the shoes. It was so good. It was sparked. Amazing. It is a good movie, and I really hope I can find out what it was, so I can even put it on the bottom of the screen here, because it was really, really a good movie for people that love to dance.
Yeah.
Really a good movie. So basically, you went to Santa Barbara City College?
No, I went to UCSB.
Oh, you went, you didn't go to City College, or you did and then go to UCSB?
No,
you went straight to
UCSB.
From San Luis Obispo. Okay, well, shout out to San Luis Obispo. Hey there, everyone, because this will go on YouTube eventually. So your family will get to see it, even though they don't have the local TV here. So you went from UCSB. So when did you start thinking, well, I'm going to start my own dance network?
Well, so it was a process, because I danced at my studio back home, Central Coast School of Dance, from the time I was 10 until about 19. Even when I was here, I couldn't quite give it up because that was my family.
Right.
And so it was hard for me to think about dancing somewhere else, since I had danced there my whole life. And so I would go back on weekends and still participate in some shows. And then eventually I realized I can't keep driving home every weekend. I have to start kind of moving forward. And so I explored a few different studios around here, and I've participated in numerous companies in the area. And I'm actually still participating in a couple of different ones, and just because they're different styles, and it really allows me to expand and open myself as a dancer. But I also have taught everywhere from Goleta to Carpinteria. And just after teaching and dancing with so many different people, I just felt like something for me wasn't quite right. There was something missing, and I think what it ended up being is I really missed the way that we danced at home, and I didn't find that here in Santa Barbara. Because the way we dance at home is everyone from the little kids, from the little 2 and 3-year-olds, all the way up to the studio grandma who was in her 70s. Everyone danced together all the time.
Nice.
And that was the way that we developed a community as a studio in that way, and I really appreciated that and loved that about the studio at home, and I didn't find that here. At one of the studios I danced at, I was the oldest dancer when I was 20 by about 3 or 4 years, and they didn't really have a program for me. And they were great. They tried to help me, find a place in their studio, and developed a company to, facilitate dancers who were my age. But at the same time, it was weird being in the same company with 13-year-olds.
Yeah.
It was not necessarily a bad thing. They were all very talented.
But if it was like all different age groups, it would have been better.
Yeah. And so, I besides the teachers, I was the oldest. I was the oldest dancer at the studio. And then I taught at another studio where I really had a connection with the students and loved dancing with them, and they danced with me, but teachers were strictly forbidden from ever dancing with the students at that studio.
Oh, that's weird.
And it hurt me, and it hurt them. It made us all really sad because we wanted to be able to share that together. And so the students never got to see the teachers dancing.
Oh, that's bizarre.
And then I also danced at a company where it was all adults, but nobody under 18 was allowed to participate because they wanted to keep it targeted towards adults. And I just felt like, where is that place?
Family. There's no. We're all different age group. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I felt like the dance network needed to happen, because where was that place where the 5-year-olds could learn and be with the 25-year-olds
Yes.
or the 55-year-olds?
Yeah.
Or where's that place where the 60-year-olds can connect with the 10-year-olds and learn from them as well? And it just wasn't here, and I needed that. And I'm noticing I feel like a lot of other people needed that too. And so the idea of the Dance Network is to bring people together as a community and as a family to create a place where anyone and everyone can dance. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter where you are as a dancer, or if you've never danced before. You should be able to have a place where you can call home and have a family, even if it's not your own, that is there for you and that will be there for you. And I, as the director, hope that my students can all feel like they can come to me if they have problems or if they want to talk about something, because we're all a part of the same group now. Yeah,
we're a family. So can you give the people out there how they can get in touch with you, the email, if there's a website? I know. Do you have the Dance Network on Facebook?
Yes, we do have the Dance Network on Facebook. Oh gosh, we have the Dance Network on Facebook and on Twitter. We've got the Dance Network on Pinterest, and we've got pretty much all the social media covered. The studio website is the Dance Network SB for SantaBarbara.com. So again, the Dance Network SB.com.
The Dance Network, all one word. Okay.
And the email address is the dancenetwork.sb@gmail.com. And then I'm trying to think what else we've got. We've got so many different things. But yes, we're definitely on Facebook, and we've got a bunch of videos and pictures on Facebook.
And do you have a phone number for the actual studio?
And the phone number is area code 805, so it is a local number, 225-6078. That again is 225-6078.
And where are your studios situated in Santa Barbara?
We are in the El Mercado Shopping Center, so we're right smack dab in the middle of Goleta and Santa Barbara, which is great for me and my students.
That's along Hollister Road, just after 5 Points, right?
Yeah, it's right by the 154.
Yes, I know exactly where it is. So, so let's hear a little bit about you and your. You have a family, parents, and any sisters and brothers, or.
My brother, he's amazing, but I'm super jealous of him because he's living in Hawaii. And he got actually asked to move there because he used to work for a restaurant up in Santa Cruz in that area, and then was asked to move there by the owners to manage a restaurant over on Maui.
Wow.
And so my one vacation of the year is that I go and I visit him for a week every year in the fall.
Maui's beautiful. I mean, if you've ever been to Maui, folks, it's beautiful over there. Oh, that's wonderful. And his name is?
Edward.
Hi, Edward. Hope it's great in Hawaii. And good luck on you. You got a good job there. They take you, bring you over there. That's wonderful. Yeah. So that you have a brother and a mom and dad. Is that it? Yes, the four of you.
My parents,
they're in San Luis Obispo,
yes,
or where are they?
They are in San Luis Obispo. Technically, we live in Los Osos, which is about 20 minutes towards the coast, 15 minutes towards the coast from San Luis. But most people don't know where that is, so I tend to just kind of lump it in with San Luis. But that's where they live. And they work at Cal Poly.
Oh, nice.
And their names are Gary and Deborah. And they, I guess today actually is their No, not today. In a few days is their anniversary of their first date 28 years ago.
Oh, nice.
In a few days.
Well, happy anniversary, Karyn's mom and dad. So, and what is what are your future plans? I know you have a boyfriend, you said.
Yes, and
you want to do a shout out to him?
Hi, Kyle. And he and I are actually about to celebrate our 3-year anniversary, which is very exciting.
Nice. Well, happy anniversary to you both.
And I'm sure he would love for me to say hi to our babies because we have 2 little dogs.
Oh my goodness, that's why you love Maxwell so much.
Well, one of my dogs reminds me a lot of him because he's very young and very playful and likes
Did you get him?
chew.
Zoom in on, we're talking about Maxwell, so why not zoom in on Maxwell? Look at Grandpa.
He's being very good.
Talk to him.
But I have one who is a miniature dachshund, and he's about 1.5 years, and he is a little spark plug. And then I have another one, and he's about 7. His name is Zach, and he's a Corgi Chihuahua mix. And
Maxwell's a Chihuahua Jack Russell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they're so cute.
Coloring.
They're very cute, aren't they? I mean, I know they're yappers. But he does pretty good. You give them a lot of fuss. I think they don't yap so much with their barking, but they're fabulous. Well, this is great. So basically your whole life is made up of the dance network, I would imagine.
Oh, right now, yeah, it definitely is. I'm still teaching at a couple other studios just to fulfill some, obligations. I wouldn't want to just dodge out in the middle of a season because the seasons for dance tend to go along with school seasons. So they go from roughly September to June, give or take a couple months, depending. Because I know some of the studios that do Fiesta will go a little bit longer.
So do you have like a schedule that you wanted to tell people about, or should they just call and find out, or you're not quite?
The schedule is all online. It's a crazy schedule. We've got about 25 classes on
already.
Right now. Yeah.
Already, that's wonderful.
So we've got tap. Obviously, I'm the tap teacher and I love it. Jazz, we have an amazing ballet teacher, Nicole Helton. She and I have been dancing together for many years now, and she's fantastic. Our hip hop teacher, Daniel Rojo, has also been in the area his whole life, and he's amazing. He's a ton of fun. He's very high energy. We also are looking to add a creative movement class, and that's going to be a lot of fun. We've got another ballet teacher, Jessica Hambright, who actually also is the director over at Santa Barbara School of Performing Arts. So
nice.
She's very well rounded. She's got all of the singing and acting in addition to the dancing, so that's awesome.
We'll have to get her on here.
Yeah, she's fantastic. I'm sure she would love to come and talk to you.
Well, we had Beth. That's how I found out about you.
She's our belly dancing teacher.
Yes,
right now.
she loved you. She couldn't say enough about you.
She's a lot of fun. I really love having her and her energy.
Yes,
as part of the
definitely.
Studio. It's great. And then we also have breakdancing, and our hip hop teacher Daniel also teaches the breakdancing.
Wow, sounds lovely. So everybody out there, I'm sure that there's a lot of dancers sitting there going, you know what? Maybe I'm too old. No, you're not. Get out there as seniors, and I keep saying I'm going to do it, that I'm going to go to Beth means, Ravel will do it. Lucy doesn't do those things. Lucy is your reporter. So anyway, I think that, is there anything you think you may have missed that you need to tell people about?
I should tell you about this great class that we have. It's called the Dancing Dames class.
Ooh!
And it's all for our lovely ladies who are,
seniors.
A
little elderly.
And actually, one of our company members has both of her grandmothers in that class.
How exciting.
And they're really excited to do the performance because we're actually going to have a studio showcase in June. And so they're very excited.
Oh my
to do
goodness,
that
sounds
you
fun.
Would love that.
Oh, maybe I'll have to get these little tap shoes going.
And then we also, our company members are all fantastic. We've been actually performing throughout Santa Barbara since August. We did a huge event for home hospice and healthcare.
Nice.
Called the Artini, and we did a big event for a studio downtown, a Pilates studio called Fit Buddha, for a celebration for them. And then we're also going to be performing. We just got asked to perform for the Teddy Bear Cancer Foundation's benefit in May.
Nice.
So
wow.
we're performing all over the place already.
Wow. Well, let's cheers to that, and we'll wish you all the best of luck in the future.
Welcome to my favorite show, Guitar Junkie Lounge, from the Dream Machine USA, Foreave Stars International in Goleta, California, at the Mini Woodstock Festival. Woo!
What do you want to do now, baby? Tell me your goals, tell me your dreams, choo-choo time. Tell me your goals, tell me your dreams at choo-choo time. It's choo-choo time and she loves you. Yeah, 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 it's choo-choo time and she loves you. Yeah. Tell me your goals, tell me your dreams, you're the young stars of Foreave. Choo-choo time.